All right, hello and welcome. You're listening to a audio extra for the Grand Carlock Cavalcade in Color, a Gentle Colts podcast for sophisticated bronies. I'm your secondary co-host and bullshit. With me is my primary co-host, M. Defmech, and we're joined today by returning guests King Cheetah and Salient Sunbreeze. And we're just going to be talking briefly about some recent events that have come into play. Now, for those who don't really spend a whole lot of time on Tumblr, who haven't been a part of the Clop community quite in the same way that we have, you might not have heard about this, but quite a few not safe for work pony Tumblrs have been taken down for violations of the terms of service. Now, some of them have been legitimate. Some of them have involved full con, which technically I suppose is against the terms of service, and some of it has involved human on pony, which is against the terms of service, as it's depending on where you live. And some of them have been outright bullshit. And the one in particular that sparked us into doing this little short audio extra was Smitty G's Pet Dash Tumblr. Pet Dash has recently been taken down for accusations of sexual content involving minors, which is complete shit. And for a while, MDefMech and I have been speculating that this was butthurt fans of Little Miss J deciding that if they couldn't have their fun with LMJ, then nobody could have fun. But we've long since grown up from that and moved on, because Little Miss J is back and has a Tumblr, and his Tumblr is doing quite well, and it hasn't been deleted. So, we have our own new theories about this that we'll go into in a minute. MDefMech, would you like to talk about what you think?
Are we going to go into the theories now?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I think, well, initially I was, we were all, because the reason we were speculating it might have been Little Miss J's fans is because they did get a couple. They did threaten many Tumblrs, and they actually got, I think, at least one Tumblr shut down, and that was the "Shut Up About Ponies," which, in all honesty, was probably a legitimate takedown. But again, it's been several weeks since that happens, and he's back and doing his own thing. I don't know what he's doing. I don't follow him, so I don't care. But so my speculate and this is something I actually bought to end bullshit just a couple hours ago, was the fact that with this being primarily going after My Little Pony related Tumblrs, is the fact that in the past couple months, Equestria Daily has been spotlighting and featuring My Little Pony Tumblrs, Ask Tumblrs, on their site. And that's bringing more and more people onto Tumblr. And as they spend more time on Tumblr, they're eventually getting exposed to the more deviant side of the Tumblr pawn community. And with us knowing how EQD viewers behave, I wouldn't put past it that might be one aspect that's causing all this. Because as I'm sure some of you know, a lot of EQD's fans are very, very anti Rule 34. Yeah, they're purists. Yeah.
Then we pledge allegiance to the pure.
Mine pure.
Ironic is it that it's Seth would be the purer.
He's a dirty little fucker.
Oh, yeah. Seth is in no way against things like that. I've seen the things he commissions at conventions.
Point out to the EQD crowd that he spends most of his time running the site without pants. I just think they feel they should know that.
I find that more arousing than I should.
Why boner?
Well, seeing that picture you posted, Paco. God damn, you two look almost alike.
One theory that's been going around, and this is something I got from artist VDK, is that Tumblr is just sort of starting to crack down more on porn, and the evidence he gave for that was this article from a website called TechCrunch called "Is Tumblr Quietly Cracking Down on Porn?"
I think he's really into it.
And in the title it says update, Tumblr says no. But as we all know, if they're quietly doing it, maybe it's a conspiracy. The problem with this is that from what I have seen, and to be fair, it did list 3 general porn sites that have been shut down. 2 of them were kind of sketchy on why they'd been shut down, and one of them didn't even comment. So I didn't really think much of it. The thing here is that on Tumblr, I'm attached to multiple fandoms, and the only area that's having this sort of massive takedown of not safe for work Tumblrs is the pony fandom. There are tons of just general lolly anime Tumblrs that I follow that none of them or their affiliates or their friends are having this problem. In fact, out of all of the 5 or 6 lolly blogs that I follow, the only one that is currently gone was the one that was run by Alan, who is a very popular pony role player. So, from what I have seen, this sort of mass takedown is only happening on our side of things in Tumblr.
Well, anime, though, has always been kind of given a pass. I just don't understand why it's, and my attitude on pony porn. I find most of it in the pony style to be kind of gross. That's just me. But I don't understand why since this is such a fantasy element. I mean, this is so divorced from the real world, you'd think this would be more acceptable.
And what's funny is, like, all the furry blogs I follow aren't having this problem at all.
Yeah.
None of them are even talking or have heard about this. It looks like to me it's just native to the Tumblr pawn, as it were, community. So that leads me to then agree with MDefMech that I think it's just pockets of purists getting uppity.
Well, that would seem to be the case, because if it's not happening in these other large communities, these large adult-based communities, you've got your Yoi, you've got your Yuri, you've got your Shota and your Lolly and all that stuff, and you've got the furry community and all this massive amounts of porn involved, but only centered in this area of the pony community, these takedowns that are happening.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, takedowns happen all the time. Like this article said, some other porn blogs have been taken down. But I haven't seen it happen so quickly. I mean, just today, we saw Pet Dash and Orochi both taken down today.
Well, that's the thing, is that filter down, happens. Every once in a while, someone, something will filter up to the top, and somebody at Tumblr will catch it, like, nope, and then just shut the thing down.
Well, see, it's not even Tumblr that's doing it. Tumblr only has a small staff of people. I think it's less than 100 people, and they've got so many million Tumblr blogs and profiles that their flagging system is fairly automated.
Yeah, it works on a basis of reports. They don't have somebody policing it. It works on a basis of reports. If you are reported by another user, then your blog is taken down. So the only way that this sort of stuff is being brought to the attention of the Tumblr staff is that people are reporting them.
Yeah, and it looks to be an abuse of that system. Because again, they're taking down Tumblrs for apparently bullshit reasons Tumblr's not really noticing it just because it's a fairly automated system. So whatever.
And honestly, Tumblr doesn't give two shits about any of the fandoms. They're a blogging site. You know, they don't care about our shit. They don't care about the Homestuck shit. They just want to run their site. So
their care of the pony fandom is less than that of Hasbro's. Which is another topic.
The only thing I'm going to say now, because I have to get going here and drop out of the call soon, but you guys keep talking. I just have to go real soon. The only thing I want to say more on this is that Kevin Sano and Brayburned are taking this the right way. Okay, Brayburned has promised, to not post anything that's against terms of service, even remotely, on Tumblr. He's only posting his normal gay art. Everything else is going on Derpy Peru. And Kevin Sano is doing this awesome thing where he posts all of his art now on Ink Bunny alongside Tumblr, and if it's against the terms of service, he provides a link to his Ink Bunny with a preview of just the face of whoever's in the picture. So those two guys are taking this very well. Some are not. Some are getting very angry. So.
Well, fuck them.
Well, it's like dealing with DeviantArt back when they changed their rules every other week. Eventually you just get a feel for what's acceptable in a certain site, and if it's not acceptable on that site, you move it to another site, and you just make sure everybody knows what your stuff is.
I've given up on DeviantArt. I honestly only use it to search for other images. If I post, it'll be on Tumblr or on Twitter or on Ink Bunny. That's what I'm reduced to. Well, and 4chan, but that doesn't count.
Well, we got about 10 minutes out of this. I think that's all right.
Well, it's more getting the word out. I mean, I wanted to be a part of this because I honestly wasn't sure what was going on. It's more nascent curiosity than anything. And, it could be a lot of things. The fact that it only seems to be pony tumblers is curious. I'm not going to read too much more into that, but it's like, well, all this other stuff is sliding, and yet the ponies are getting hammered. And I don't know. I don't really give in to a lot of group persecution fantasies because I just couldn't be bothered to burn the calories. But if something's going down, somebody's making it go down. So I think you're right. This might be just kill teams going through and targeting various tumbles.
As somebody.
Well, there's been a history of that happening for a long time. I mean, not just on Tumblr, just people just getting so upset with the fact that there is Rule 34 in this fandom.
There's Rule 34 in all fandoms.
Well, somehow MLP they feel that MLP should not be subject to the rules that pertain to any fandom.
Yeah, well,
you gotta remember how it was early on. Oh, this fandom's special. It's not like other fandoms.
Well, and that's funny because I can speak with authority that from the get-go there was Rule 34. October 2010. We were having, if you pull up the threads on 4chan, half of them were spoilered. I mean, it's always been there. It's just not a big deal. Ignore it.
It's just a puerile attitude that people have that, this is something, this is special, or this is not something that people can do because it's something that I find offensive or something I find disgusting. And because of its nature as a cartoon show, people seem to take it a bit more seriously, I guess because it's a bit closer to home than a lot of anime and that kind of thing. Because a lot of people, I don't know. It's like if I saw something from a show that I watched, which I do quite frequently, but if I was just starting out. I was in my teens, and I saw something from a show that I watched frequently when I was little. It might weird me out just a little bit, but I've gotten over that. I just think that a lot of the people who haven't been in a fandom before kind of, and expected this to be this thing that it's just not. That it just kind of, it really gets their goat. It really gets under their skin. And they want to do something about it because this is the internet, and they apparently run the internet.
Well, yeah. I'm on Rule 34 now, and I wanted to prove a point. I am going to see if there's Rule 34 for Ed Grimley.
Ed Grimley?
Yes.
Ed Grimley.
This was a Martin Short cartoon in the 80s.
Oh, I've seen this guy before.
Yeah, and it's just they're not kidding. There's porn of everything, but for this example, I picked an obscure, non-sexy thing to see if there was Rule 34 for it.
I'm actually on Rule 30. I'm on Putt Heel looking. Yep. Yeah.
Well, that's distressing.
Oh my god.
I think you all found the same thing I found.
I don't know if I did, but I went to 34 XXX to see. It's sort of like a Dan Brew clone.
Yeah, I know about 34 XXX.
And it's on there too.
Yeah.
Is it the one with the triangle?
Yeah, with the triangle and the fish going boing.
Yes.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Well, anyway, these guys can't control the internet however much they want. And, I've dealt with this in other fandoms. And it's not like you make things better by policing the fandoms. You make things better by producing more and encouraging more non-adult stuff. I mean, don't bitch about what's there. Make new content.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of this is probably just because of the drought.
Yeah.
As soon as next month when we fire up season 3, a lot of people's just energies and attentions are going to be drawn to that, and you're going to see a lot less of this nonsense because there'll be so much more drama about the Princess Luna episode, so we'll be off the hook.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of hoping everybody would just start bitching and moaning about the whole 13 episode thing. But
if I thought it was a realistic possibility that there wasn't going to be anything else, I'd be upset. But it's like, no, I'm very confident there's going to be a season 4, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, that's why this season is starting so late. Remember last time, season started in September.
This is true.
So they moved it back just to kind of fill the gap. And, probably we'll get a heavier rotation of episodes to pick up the slack.
I think...
The thing is, I got a feeling the Crystal Ponies episode is going to be such fan fodder that just what they set up in these 2 episodes, it's just going to spawn its own fic and its own art and everything. This is just they're going to set up a little something to let the fans run nuts in. And I think
that's what they did with Discord and the whole first, the season premiere for the last season. I mean, that was just, everybody just went nuts, and they, when they saw Discord, they thought he was stupid to begin with when the spoilers came out and everything before it began, and then,
Yeah, but this time, Brigadoon style, they pulled an entire kingdom out of their ass. So, it's been gone for 1,000 years, and the fans are just going to go nuts with that, because now you have 1 million new characters, and you have a new setting, and you've added to the milieu, and this will be a lot more interesting than Candace was.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, what everybody took away from the season finale was not Candace, but Chrysalis.
Right.
She was the queen of season 2. And so I think the kickoff for season 3 will really keep the fans distracted for quite a long time.
Yeah, totally. Well, what was I? The thing that a lot of the people who are complaining don't realize is that we're pretty goddamn lucky we got 2 seasons with 26 episodes each. That almost never happens.
Yeah.
For the cartoon series.
Well, I mean, we're in a different time now because Hasbro has a lot of faith in the hub. So all of the shows, even Pound Puppies, is getting more consideration than it normally would.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, normally it's been, like, you go to the Cartoon Network or, even, like, the early seasons of, like, Transformers and shit, they were only, like, 13 episodes, weren't they?
I don't recall, but that sounds about right.
I don't remember. But, well, like, a perfect example is looking at, anime. So many shows are 13 episodes. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are 13 episodes, and that's it. You have the rare ones like One Piece and Naruto and Bleach, which go on forever.
But well, me and Bullshit were talking about this the other night. That's usually the number. You have 13, 26, and 52, and that's it. I mean, it's one of, and they usually run them in either 13 or 26 blocks because that's what that's a season. That's pretty much what you need for an entire story. Otherwise you can extend it to 52, but usually it cuts off there, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, but Ponies this time around, this incarnation is doing so well for Hasbro. Even from a business standpoint, it wouldn't make any sense to cut it off now.
Mm-hmm. No, they're not going to. Yeah, at least for another season. What was I gonna say? I know it's a lot. Because I went on the EQD because the article was linked on Tumblr. Was a phone call from the top guy at Hasbro regarding. He didn't say anything about MLP, just about the hub.
Mm-hmm.
About how most of the shows were going in for 13 episodes, or they were ordering, 13 episode batches. And it's just, they're just doing a general, like, okay, we've got, such a backlog that, we can get away with, saving the production costs and going with a 13 episode and just increasing the amount of reruns. And they can do that because, kids really don't care.
Yeah.
This is true. And another thing, too, is I noticed that they've got some new stuff coming out that they're putting, like people from MLP and people from their other shows on. So if they want to put out a new franchise or if they want to experiment with something, then they can reduce the production costs, give each episode a little bit more of a production buffer and then put the extra work towards something different.
I really want to believe that before next summer we have an all brony episode of Family Game Night.
Actually, what I wouldn't mind seeing is they did it a long time ago. I was back early. I actually haven't seen any episodes of it, but I read about it on Wikipedia. Was early on when they just started up the hub with the Discovery Channel,
mm-hmm.
and one of the they had this thing where there was like a little 5-minute short where it was a stop motion animation involving the toys from Transformers and the toys from MLP back when it was the earlier toys. I wouldn't mind seeing them bring something like that back.
And they could actually farm some of this out. I mean, is it beyond belief that they might not tap some of the better fan animators? I mean, not necessarily Hot Diggity Demon, but
no, it's not like
actually do like a special and show off some of the good fan work. Would that cause a shitstorm in the fandom if certain people, musicians or animators, were singled out for excellence by Hasbro, you want to talk about jealousy.
Oh, jeez. Well, I could see them maybe doing a Liquid Television kind of deal.
Yeah.
You know.
But we got a lot of good work. The Japanese guy that Shepard What's-His-Face translates for, his stuff is outstanding, and he's starting to do animated GIFs now from what I've seen on Derpy Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's done the one Twilight one. I think there was another one
Rarity
too.
making the spooky hands and face.
Yeah.
Where she's going, ooh.
And it doesn't have to be restricted to MLP either. I mean, it could be a combination of any of Hasbro's franchises, or
Well, they could do the same thing. The second strongest franchise they have is Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
G.I. Joe has a lot of dedicated fans, but they're not quite as active as Bronies or the Transformer fans are.
True.
But they're trying. They just haven't figured out how, and they're smart enough to be cautious about it, but they would love to start up a Brony-style fandom for one of their other shows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they tried it with the Care Bears.
And Amy Keating-Rogers has kind of teased about that on Twitter. And it's like, well, I love your work, but I'm not going to watch the Care Bears because I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like, I found out about it thanks to the Comedy Button because they were, when they did their whole thing about Bronies, and they actually, because of the industry they work in over at IGN, they got a press release from Hasbro that one of them brought in. It was like talking about how like Hasbro was making a concerted effort to try to get new fans into the Care Bear show by calling them Belly Bros or something like that. And it's like, really?
No,
really?
Everybody admitted that was somebody in sales and promotions that jumped the gun because Hasbro execs fell all over themselves trying to distance themselves from it. It was like, no, that wasn't us.
We don't know who did it.
I just typed in Belly Bros and I went and looked and it's like it's like they fucking backpedaled really fast on that.
It's too hard to kind of do it into a broader fandom, but their other hit show is Dan Versus, which is you.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Dan Versus hasn't taken off more.
Well, it's just there's not a lot you can do with it as a fan because it centers on 3 characters. And you got to be a really good writer to write good Dan stories. So that's more a spectator sport. Whereas with ponies, it's pretty broad and open, and there's a million characters, and
Yeah, I suppose.
Go to FFN and look up Dan versus fanfic. It's pretty sad. It's just not good because that's a very difficult show to write.
True.
I mean, I love the fact that even Hasbro loves teaming up Dan with Pinkie Pie.
Oh, wait, have they done that in an official capacity?
In some ads and stuff, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because, they were just so diametrically opposed. But...
Wow. I only found one fanfic, Dan versus fanfiction. And it's like 136 words long.
That is pretty sad.
Yeah.
So, if anything, there's another possibility of them running Delancey's Brony documentary. And when that is done, I fully expect Hasbro to make a play for it. It's like, please come show that on the hub.
Well, if they were to show it on the hub, then I think I would probably have a higher opinion of it because right now it's just coming off, the whole documentary is just coming off as a real self pat on the back kind of a circle jerk. for the fandom.
I'm curious because I haven't heard anything more. It's like, okay, made its goal. BronyCon comes and goes. Apparently no great catastrophes. And that's it. I haven't heard any follow-up on production or editing or anything.
Yes, I'm curious, because it's one of those things that I never really, cared about. I mean, I knew it was going on. A lot of people had really strong opinions about it, but I never really, I never really thought twice about it. It just seemed to be a thing that some people were doing and some people were funding. And I was always curious to see what the result was, and I'm kind of surprised in the same aspect that there hasn't been any result. I would have thought they would have, rushed that out the door by now.
Apparently John is taking his time on it. He wants to do a good job on this thing, and I know everybody second guessed it at first, but if you follow the timeline of it, John was announcing this and talking up the thing, and somebody pointed out, it's like, well, Lauren's going to be at BronyCon. Why don't you interview her for it? And he's like, hey, you're right. And then Sibsy on Twitter jumped up and said, well, would you like to talk to some of the production staff on the show? And he said, sure. And then Tara, of course, is not going to be left out of that. And then before you know it, Tara and Lauren are now co-producers on it. And so it became really legitimate really fast.
That's true. So maybe they're just taking, maybe they're polishing all the surfaces and rounding off all the corners and doing all that.
I'd like to believe that, because Delancey really did seem serious about this. Though, as I pointed out, if it turned out going to dinner with him meant going to Jack in the Box and he helps himself to your French fries as you read him his fanfic, he would be the greatest troll in the history of the internet.
This is true. But I do like to think that he's up on his game, and that.
Now, did you hear about the real controversy recently? The first DVD set has come out, and they didn't even ask Lauren to contribute to the commentary track.
I heard about that, and I read about it. I always hold my breath on these things when it comes down to the actual product, the actual printed product, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. And what the guy had to say afterwards is that it was on the docket, but it didn't make the actual cut time for the production of the DVD, and it's going to be on the next one. But
okay, because Lauren was surprisingly closed-mouthed about this, and was not saying anything yay or nay.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, now what was this for? Which DVD collection?
First season DVD is coming out now, a big complete one, and Lauren was not even asked to participate in the commentary track, and she was kind of bent about that.
Yeah, it is kind of odd. I'm actually looking at it on Amazon right now.
The only problem
it's not out for another over a month, and it's already got 72 5-star reviews. I love how that works. Good job, Amazon.
The only problem with having her on the second season DVD is that her participation in the second season was very minimal, so she wouldn't really have that much to comment on.
Yeah.
I mean, all she would probably talk about is, I guess, her surprise at the response it got.
She was responsible for essentially the season opener, Return to Harmony and all that. But yeah, after that, she didn't have a lot to do with the rest of the episodes.
Yeah. Do you think it was just oversight, or do you think it was, them calling in a little too late?
As far as I know, Hasbro just doled this out to another bunch to do.
Yeah, let me.
We kind of got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon's generally really good at showing who actually produces the TV. Shout Factory.
Yeah.
And Shout Factory does a lot of cartoons, so it may have been an oversight on their part. Maybe they were just looking at it as like, oh, let's just get these all on the disc and put some swag in there and just send it out on its way. They probably know as much about the fans as. I'm trying to think of another company that doesn't really care about the fandom.
That would be Cartoon Network.
Yeah, Cartoon Network.
So you didn't know Annoying Orange had a show, huh?
God fucking... Let me just say yes, I am very, very happy that I canceled my my cable box, because in no way do I want to support that.
Yeah.
Either directly or indirectly.
I mean, you will long for problem solvers. Because Annoying Orange was bad enough as just an internet thing. It's like, oh man, 15 minutes? Seriously? And merch?
I'd rather they put on the How To Basics series on Cartoon Network. I don't know if you see me post them up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's the guy holds the camera and then tries to make food with just using his left hand.
Yeah.
And he always is incredibly angry.
There was another one that got a show recently. It's not a cartoon or an animation. It's a live skit. I'm trying to remember who it is because I don't.
Shit, my dad says.
No, although did that get a show?
That got a pilot, and I think the pilot did horribly.
There's this one that it's a series of YouTube shorts, and I don't remember it because I didn't like it, and it got like 2 direct-to-DVD movies that like bombed horribly. No, I think one was in theaters, but it bombed horribly. I want to say Fred, but I don't know the name of the show. Like Fred Show or something like that.
Well, there's a lot.
Fred the Show. Okay, that's why I couldn't, because it's a stupid title. Now,
it's like if you had Annoying Orange being a TV show on Cartoon Network, and then you have Tobuscus, I guess, being the face of gaming now, seeing as how he had a huge presence on at E3 and shit. It's like, I don't think the mainstream media really just has any clue on what's good anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, that's me making the most obvious statement possible.
Take a look at the stats on this. This is the stats for Fred the movie, which is based on the YouTube series that I had just mentioned. Take a look. It's got a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. A 0.
How's that possible? How do you possibly get a 0? I didn't think that was possible. No, seriously, how the fuck does that work?
I don't know. This one reviewer paired it with a Serbian film as being his least favorite viewing experience of the year.
Comparing it to
a Serbian film, yes.
Oh my God.
That's horrifying, to say the least.
Serbian film, or Human Centipede 2 second sequence.
Yeah.
It's like, which would you rather watch? This movie or a movie where people, fuck dead people on camera?
A Serbian movie has like the most misleading title ever.
Yeah, it was a big political play apparently, or at least that's what the critics of it say. But as far as from what I've heard, it's just a terrible movie. It's no tact, no taste, nothing.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it is a pretty, literally a horrific movie, and Yeah, I could kind of see it being kind of a political thing because, the Serbia has sort of been the bad guy for the past 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
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 So it's like, yeah, let's make fun of them some more.
Yeah, but I mean, to have this thing paired with that thing, as being similarly, despicable viewing experiences, that's pretty damn bad.
There you go. All right, guys, I got to take off, so thanks for letting me
I think we're good.
Okay.
Done here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just fuck it. I'll probably just throw this raw audio up.
Alrighty.
So.
Good night, guys.
All right, thanks for coming on, everybody.
Take care, Casey. Take care, MDiv.
Yep. Later.
Adios.
Bye.